Hey guys, Pastor Mike here. We're in Mark chapter 6 today. Let's dig in. So here's the deal. Chapter 6, there's a lot of stuff going on. Jesus feeds a multitude of people, and then he walks on water. So it's like, all right, what's going on here? Let's dig into chapter 6 to see what's going on. First things first, Jesus feeds the multitude, and I think we tend to have in our mind an image of like it's a big picnic and everything's joyous and happy and calm, but we could maybe infer a little bit by the end of this feeding of this multitude that maybe it was a little bit more chaotic. People were wanting to get to Jesus. They wanted to meet this prophet, as they were calling him, who was healing and doing miracles. But we infer a little bit of the chaos when Jesus immediately sends his disciples off into a boat and says, "Get out of here, guys." So they're gone, and Jesus wanders off and escapes the chaos of the space. But the disciples then are out in the water. The sun's shining, maybe, I don't know. The water's calm, but then everything starts to turn black, and the storm kicks up. So the disciples are out in the water. They're freaking out, and they think they're going to die. And where's Jesus? Where's he at? And all of a sudden, he comes walking up across the water. He didn't show up on a jet ski. He didn't show up on a boat or canoe. He walked up to him. And then when he arrived, he said, to be calm and to not fear. And he reassured the disciples, and the storm and the waves all disappeared. So he performed another couple of miracles there, right? It's interesting because the disciples, I've tried to put myself in their position. Jesus said, you guys got to get in the boat and you got to go. Right after we fed the multitude, why is he sending us off so quickly? And what's going on? So we go back and we infer maybe there was a bit of some chaos and they were trying to escape from that. But another thing I wonder, as Jesus shows up after this storm, why did he send us in the boat, the disciples, and then why did he walk and go a different way himself, and all of a sudden he's showing up in the middle of the storm? Was this a setup of some kind? Was it to maybe prove a point? I don't know. I think, again, we could kind of infer that. But what's interesting is we all have these same kinds of storms in our lives, and I think sometimes the storms are good. I think they're good. And so Jesus may allow the storms in your life too, and they're not to sink you. They're actually to strengthen you. Sometimes it requires a storm for us to really realize our need for a Savior. I would think, and not think, but say. I would say, Jesus joined them. He didn't lecture them in this moment from the shore. He joined them in the middle of the mess. He, I would say, will meet you in the middle of your mess, in the middle of your pain, in the middle of your bad news, struggles, fear, depression, discouragement, whatever it is. So Jesus will come to us in those storms, and he strengthens us. And your Savior is coming for you in the middle of the storm, and he's not just watching you, he's with you. So when we have these moments where you're in the tension, where you're in the middle of the storm, don't run away and scream and cry because the waves are high. Obviously, it's scary. Sometimes it's really hard to deal with. But I think what Jesus, with this particular story, is trying to show, and what he was showing the disciples, is the storm has now strengthened you, and I'm here. Take heart. Don't fear. And I'll be with you. I'll be with you. So Jesus is walking with you. Sometimes it's not so evident, but he really, really comes through. His presence comes through in those moments of mourning and grief. So look for Jesus in the tension. Look for Jesus in the storm. He's walking with you. That's all I've got today. Mark 6 is really, really cool. I would encourage you to go through it today. Just read through. It's encouraging, and there's a lot of really, really powerful miracles going on. Jesus really shows up in a big way. So I would encourage you to read that. All right, guys. Again, that's all I got. I'll catch you next time.